I don't rely on motivation to stay consistent. I build my routine around things I actually want to do. Like today, instead of forcing a workout, I'm taking the train to DC at 4:30 a.m. to walk 8 miles around the cherry blossoms. And later, I'm setting myself up for a week with meals that actually keep me on track. This is how I make fitness fit into my life, instead of trying to force my life around fitness. I just pulled into the Repke Fitness studio. I'm training some clients this morning, followed by a staff meeting, and then headed to another client's house to train. Anyway, so that's the plan today. I will say on Sunday, I've got a long hike scheduled, I'm actually going to DC to see the cherry blossoms with my friend who's doing the 14 miler. With me, and then we're gonna do that super early in the morning. I think our train leaves at 5. I'm telling you, having a destination or something fun to look forward to while you're training, or even training for something that's going to be really exciting, that's what drives me. That's what keeps me motivated when other things are just hey, pulling your attention away from the trainer, whatever it might be. So I'm really looking forward to that morning. Good morning. It is 4:30 a.m. So today I am taking the train to Washington D.C. and I've never taken it before, so it'll be interesting. But my friend has taken it, so she's kind of leading the way today. And what we're going to do, we're going to hike to the tidal basin, and we are going to check out the cherry blossoms. So this is what I mean when I say that I absolutely love having a goal to work towards something. I think today will be the first time that I'm intentionally going to see the cherry blossoms, and it just feels really cool to be able to tie that into my goal of hiking 14 miles, being no, this will be part of my training. So always having something to look forward to like that, even if you have to get up at 4:30 a.m. for it, it's worth it. So I am headed to meet my friend. I've got my oats overnight breakfast. I think I'm prepared. It's a little chilly this morning, so I hope it warms up. So we're here in DC. We hiked about 50 minutes from the train station we're going to Tidal Basin, and then that's gonna be a little over 2 miles to loop that, and then we've got to hike it back to the train station. So we're probably looking at 3 hours of hiking. By 7 a.m., the Tidal Basin path was already pretty packed with people, just taking in the views of the cherry blossoms as well as the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, where I climbed the stairs and got even a better view of the Tidal Basin with the Washington Monument in the distance. From there, I went to the Roosevelt Memorials, which included Franklin D. Roosevelt Memorial and Eleanor Roosevelt. and just took in more cherry blossoms along the way. And just took in that sunrise that was coming up over the tidal basin. By this point, we're about halfway through the hike and around the tidal basin. And that's what made this trip so special, was that we were able to include a hike while taking in views like this and stopping along the way to take some pictures and just capture some memories. And then we came across the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial and stopped for some photos there, as well as took in some more views of that sunrise, because everywhere you went around the tidal basin, you were just getting a different perspective, capturing a different shot. And then we finally ended the hike towards the end of the tidal basin after we made our way all the way around that 2.5-mile loop and went to breakfast. On our way to breakfast, we actually came across this floral library, which was full of colorful tulips. And then we made our way to Cafe Riggs. At Cafe Riggs, I warmed up with some hot coffee, added some cream to it and sugar. And then for breakfast, I actually had an egg, whole grain toast, and avocado. I did not have any of the butter there, and I ate it all. So we made it back to the train station. We stopped for breakfast at a place called Riggs. It was super cute, really good. Now we're headed back to the Annapolis area. I am back at my car. If you've never taken the train to DC from BWI, you need to. Like, it was so easy, so convenient. I will definitely be doing that. I've had anxiety around like new things. So I'm like, I don't know how to take the train, so I just don't. And I will totally be doing it in the future. So convenient and so worth going to see the cherry blossoms. It was absolutely stunning, and it was just a great morning. It's not even 11 a.m. yet. So the fact that I've been able to walk nearly 8 miles on top of seeing the cherry blossoms, getting an awesome breakfast, and getting back home to meal prep, that's not bad. You want to sit with Mama? Oh, okay. My goodness. Okay. Ready to play with that? Is that a heart? Yes. It is. Can you say heart? Heart. Heart. Almost. No. Do you need help? Okay. Try it again. You got it. Good job. Yes. What is that? Is that an oval? Yes. Yes. Oops. Almost. Almost. Where's another oval? There it is. I forgot the cheese. What's that? Is that a triangle? Can you say triangle? Yeah. Where's it go? Looks like a piece of cheese. Where's it go? Yeah, you got it! Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands! So I'm back in the kitchen today. I'm just gonna eat a little bit of my lunch. I've got salmon here. This has magic salmon seasoning on it. I absolutely love it. And then I've got some roasted broccoli and then some pasta with a little drizzle of like a Tuscan olive oil and then some Parmesan cheese, salt, and pepper. It's super, super good. But anyway, I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna meal prep. My first meal is something I haven't made before. It is a 1-pot Moroccan couscous with chickpeas. Moroccan couscous is like super fine grains. I don't have that. I have pearl couscous, so that's what I'm using today. Otherwise, I'm going to make a recipe from my website. It is a cashew Alfredo pasta with roasted Brussels sprouts. Scratch the Brussels sprouts though, I've got broccoli. So I'm gonna use broccoli. And then to add like a more dense protein source to it, I'm actually making a blackened flounder. So I'm really excited about that one. After all of that, I did make up some I bought some burgers some plant-based burgers, so I'm gonna have those throughout the week, but I think I'm gonna cut up like the tomato slices and the onion and things like that just to have on hand so those meals are super easy when the time comes. That is pretty much the plan going into this week. Now, I haven't calculated any of this to make sure it's hitting the amount of protein and fiber that I want, but I'm positive that after I make it and I do the calculations, then I can just kind of work around each recipe and fill in the gaps wherever they may be. So as I'm standing here eating, I was thinking about my breakfast from this morning. I got eggs with toast and avocado. It came with like some meat and juice and coffee. That came with a lot, but I gave the meat and the juice to my friend. Had the rest. But anyway, the waiter was like, "How do you want your eggs done?" And I said, "Well done." And then I'm like, he means like, do I want it sunny side up? Do I want them scrambled? Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I meant scrambled, not well done. Like, that just goes to show there's too much going on in my brain. If anybody else feels like a fool doing similar things, you're not alone. This is one of my favorite dishes I think I've made to date. So we've got roasted broccoli here. I have a blackened flounder, and then I've got some pasta in a cashew Alfredo. So good. It has like lemon and garlic flavor mixed with like the blackened seasoning just to spice it up a bit, and the roasted broccoli. It's gonna go so well together. But like, look how yummy that looks. Now with the couscous meal, I actually decided to add some Greek yogurt tip. That I had that in the cupboard, so I'm like, I'll just add that. It's actually a whole fat Greek yogurt. I got it for Ren, but she's not really eating it. But it's plain. But I noticed that the couscous was really spicy, and I love spicy stuff, but almost like too much. So I'm like, the recipe had recommended adding like sour cream, and I'm like, well, I don't have sour cream and I don't like sour cream, but Greek yogurt is a close second. So, and I like Greek yogurt. So I added that in. Hopefully that will cut back on the taste a little bit of like, or the spiciness, and it will just make the dish a little creamier. So it wasn't originally in the plan, but I am going to make a black bean soup because Lubin and I have black beans left over from Chipotle that we had catered for Ren's birthday. So I had about 3 cups left, and I'm just gonna make some creamy black bean soup with it. So here's how the black bean soup turned out. It actually reminds me a little bit more of like a sauce or like sauce, but I think what I'm gonna do is actually add rice to it, because then it's going to make it feel more like a meal. I don't think that amount, that serving, is going to fill me for a meal. So I'm gonna add rice just to bulk it up, and then that makes complete proteins there. So meal prep is done for the day. Feels good to be done. It didn't take that long actually. The black bean soup was super easy because I didn't have to do anything but like add garlic and onion and saute that, and then mix a few more ingredients like spices and stuff with the black beans, and then use an immersion blender just to, you know, make it nice and creamy. Otherwise, the fish, the broccoli, like that was super easy, along with the pasta, and like everything just was really easy today. I just had to blend a few things, which took a little more time, but it's not like so intense that it would stop me from doing it again. But I'm really excited about my meals this week because I finally feel like I am back on track to like hitting that high fiber, high protein. And like the past like week and a half, I just haven't felt like that. Next time, I'm getting one last hike in before the 14-miler and right in the middle of Easter weekend. Plus, I'm back in an environment where I used to be 65 pounds heavier. Nothing around me has changed, but I have. And I don't approach family holidays in the same way anymore. If you want to watch it all unfold, make sure you subscribe.